What is up, you guys? Welcome back to another video. My name is Chris, as always with me,
Liam.
and today we are diving into the Mighty Nein, episode 6, Many Gifts. Another good one, I thought, but we'll dive into what Liam thought here in a minute. But if you're just tuning in for the first time, welcome, welcome. Liam and I never pretend to be experts. We just really love entertainment. We actually both play D&D. We actually have our monthly home game this weekend, but we did not watch Campaign 2 as it was live. We don't know the backstory, don't know the character arcs. I know a little bit just from being a huge fan of Critical Role, but we're really enjoying this for the first time, going through it, experiencing it. There's a lot we don't know, and that's what we're going to be discussing today. We discussed the episode, so if you haven't seen it yet, definitely spoilers ahead. But if you're here and you've watched the episode and you like to talk about it, you are in the right place. And the best way you can do that is in the comments below. The only thing that we ask is if you have watched the actual play, don't spoil what's to come. We really do enjoy, finding out in real time and giving you our candid responses. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed already, go ahead and do so. And without further ado, let's talk about it.
So I finally realized Yasha, who you're talking about from the beginning of this episode.
What are your initial thoughts on Yasha?
Makes me think of Witcher knockoff.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I would think Mollymuck is the Witcher knockoff. He's literally has the same abilities as like Geralt.
I'm not a big fan of the Witcher.
Oh. So
but that's
the Blood Hunter class inside of D&D that was invented by Matt Mercer is a Blood Hunter. Like the Blood Hunter is a variation of a Witcher, basically. Even in Daggerheart now, they have the call of the, not call, but it's the path or something of the mutant, which is basically you are a Witcher. So it's pretty, yeah. Anyway, so you thought that the barbarian, what about the barbarian made you think Witcher?
Probably the giant, muscular, and then the hair, and just same vibe with big sword, all that stuff.
Yeah.
What do you think of that? That's all.
Interesting. So she is an Aasimar, which is what you play.
Okay.
She's an angel person. That's like celestial.
No wings?
We didn't see any wings.
Not yet.
But yeah. Well, I mean, technically you don't have wings either until they manifest. Like you have to use this, you actually have to manifest them, and then the fear, your stuff.
That's what I said, not yet.
Yeah. I don't know. I haven't seen if she gets wings or not. But that's what her race is, her species inside of.
Seems evil.
She seems like she's being controlled by someone. There was that floating thing next to her, basically like her evil Jiminy Cricket over there. Yeah, like controlling her. Because she seems like she took control of herself for a moment and didn't want to kill the one who was surrendering. And then whoever that entity is that's taking over her, when the sigil on her neck glows, clearly pulled a Homelander and just crushed her freaking head in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, oh.
Well, she's played by one of the main party members. She's Ashley Johnson's character. So, again, I didn't watch the actual live show, so I'm thinking that maybe she has a redemption arc, or they have to free her. Somehow she becomes a party member. So that makes it even more interesting that she's starting off evil.
All right.
Yeah.
So question, was that crime boss, Nathan Fillion?
Look it up. Find out who. I mean, they have some huge names in this series. I would not be at all surprised if Nathan Fillion had a guest spot as a voice.
I recognize the voice as him, but it could be someone else. I don't know.
Well, that's the thing too, is like Mark Strong, like one of my personal favorite actors is Trent, but because he's currently doing it in a German accent, you can barely tell it's him. I loved Mark Strong in The Kingsman. I think it was one good role for him.
Yeah, it is Nathan Fillion.
Good. That was good ears, man. Good ears to notice that voice. What an iconic.
He's got a distinct voice.
Yeah. I mean, he's iconic too, right? He's all over the place. He's such an icon. We grew up watching him on Firefly, and then he's a Green Lantern now.
Grew up. Man, I was in the military when I watched Firefly.
When I officially got into it for sure. But it was on Sci-Fi when I was still in high school.
Never even heard of it.
Yeah. It was the movie itself, Serenity, that like really gave it some fame. But at that point, they had already killed everybody off, and they were like, oh shit.
So my understanding of why it did so bad on TV is it's around the same time 9/11 happened, so people were too focused on the news and stuff like that to even care about entertainment, because it felt like the world was ending.
That'll do it.
Yeah. But it was really cool to see him in this, or hear him anyway. Fjord confused the fuck out of me a few times.
Okay.
he's hearing things now?
He's hearing his patron. So a warlock only has magic in the D&D system because some powerful entity is giving it to them. Talked about that. And so Fjord has no memory at this point of like what happened and how he has that magic. We've only seen the one flashback where he's like sinking in front of the giant eye. And now in this episode, he kind of found a gem that looks like an eye. But in a previous episode, like it seems like this entity has him consume magical items. Because it's like, what did it say? Find, learn, consume. Something like that was what it was. Seek, learn, consume. It's kind of like the direction it's giving him. Yeah. To the point where he loses control of himself and then has to go do that thing. So my guess is whatever, we don't know who the patron is yet, but whoever that patron is, and I had a feeling I know who it is, but I'm not going to spoil anything, that's who's controlling him. And so when you hear that voice and he's not himself, it's because there's a powerful entity, the same one who gives him his magic, who's controlling him or forcing him to do something.
Gotcha. All right. And then Molly was surprising in this one too. And that big panther, jaguar looking person.
I want to call it a Qatari, but that's what they call them in Daggerheart. I'm trying to remember. Tabaxi. They're Tabaxi in D&D.
I like a little Tabaxi on my chicken. She completely recognized him. She knows who he is. And he's like, cool.
Yeah,
who are you?
She doesn't call him Molly. She calls him Lucien. Yeah. Different name. And says the ritual the mage that you hired says the ritual didn't go well. And Molly has no knowledge of that, but is charismatic enough to be like, I'll play off of this to get further access.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we got some huge hints on, he was clearly a criminal because the criminal organization know him. She specifically said, do you want me to go get the grave robbers or something like that? Like a specific organization that I think he was in charge of.
Well, to be fair, Han Solo was a criminal also.
All the best rogues are, right? Or rogue-like characters, even though Molly's a blood hunter. We know in a previous life or a previous entity of himself or whatever, previous vintage of himself before he lost his memory, he was called Lucien. We know that he didn't have those tattoos. We know that maybe he was a leader of some sort of organization that was criminal and that he's well known in at least this city, which, forgetting the name of it, starts with a Z.
Yeah, I'm not going to remember the city.
Let us know in the comments below.
Definitely not going to happen there. But Nathan Fillion, the gentleman, gives them a quest to go on where they got to go find this treasure who everyone else is tied attempting to get.
It's a good old-fashioned dungeon crawl for us to enjoy.
Yes. So they're inside the dungeon and Nott gets put to the top of the board and is tasked on disarming all the traps.
She's the actual rogue for the party, So she is the one with the class and the skills and the features that should be able to do that.
And Beau is in extreme distrust right now.
Well, rightfully so.
Towards the beginning and middle and all the way up until the very end where she just kind of loosens up a bit.
Dyren puts serious doubt in her mind, letting her know that there's never been a Volstrucker who just leaves the Volstruckers. That's not a thing. Never heard of. So either Caleb is the first to ever turn on them or he is a sleeper agent, right?
So the exception to the rule, yeah.
But Dyren is of the belief that he's a sleeper agent, right? And that's the thought and the thread that she puts inside of the seed she plants inside of Beau's head, which Beau's naturally confrontational, right? She's pretty aggressive and very straightforward and aggressive in her mannerisms.
And we learn she doesn't really have friends.
But we wonder why.
Don't.
She gets that seed, which then also she's not being aggressive to anyone else in the party but Caleb, and that's why. Is because
the Volstrucker thing.
Yeah, she has that seed of doubt planted.
Even before that, it's just the mention that he was a Volstrucker before is what triggered that.
And during the interrogation, she does start doubting him. Yeah, you're absolutely right. And then they let her get away, and then he ends up killing her.
But the whole pirate adventure trap thing with the magical hologram coming up felt so much like a game show. It was crazy. It felt like almost like Running Man meets Temple of Doom.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. For me, it was just an homage to, and I don't know if I'm sure they actually did that side quest for the gentleman to get what they needed inside of the game. I'm sure there was a whole 4-hour episode dedicated to that. But for me, it was cool because I love Dungeons and Dragons. I love the idea of like solving a puzzle, going through a dungeon, getting the loot, beating the quest or finishing the mission. And so to watch them go through that all together as a party, and this one was cool. Yeah.
And they find some pretty cool loot. They split it up at the very end after dungeon crawl. Why does that sound familiar?
Yeah, you don't have time to do it in the dungeon, do it later. Yeah, it seems like they didn't really get anything too special, which I thought differently when the episode was going down. Because when they first get into the room with like the treasure and the compasses that they went in for, there's like a table of magical items. And I was like, oh, are they about to like get some really cool upgrades, like some cool equipment? Like, is Beau about to, like, are they going to find something really cool? But as soon as they lift the compass, they basically run with a couple hands of gold and a necklace. So I was like, oh, okay, it's just a basic dungeon crawl where they got one cool item, but they're not even going to keep, and they get some gold for it.
Yeah. Oh. Trent. Whatever.
Trent Ikithon.
Fuck.
Mark Strong's character.
Douche. Holy fuck.
He's the big villain for sure. He's the big BBEG. Big bad evil guy.
Oh.
He's the main villain in a campaign.
Okay.
I think.
It makes me think of BFG, like Doom.
Oh, no. We're not talking about guns. We are talking about bad guys. And I have a feeling that at least for the first 2 seasons, if not just the first one, we're going to be dealing with Trent and the Beacon and the war he's trying to form between the Empire and Dynasty right now.
Well, this is almost over, isn't it?
2 more episodes.
That's it.
So I think he'll be the big bad for a little bit longer. And then eventually, like, the campaign went on for hundreds of episodes, right? So they will be more.
He's not going to be gone by the end of the season, you're saying?
I don't think so. But I also think that as the party, if they continue to do seasons like they did with Vox Machina, and the party continues to level up, we'll have to see bigger and badder baddies, right? They're getting more skills. They're, like, once Beau starts unlocking Stunning Strike and like starts moving, like, she becomes a battlefield master, right? Monks are masters of the battlefield. So she's nothing compared to what she'll be able to become. Same thing with Caleb. Like, high level wizards are just, I mean, there's nothing that can touch them. That's why they're so squishy when they're like little, because if they can get to being high level, there's nothing stronger than a wizard. Like, that magic is untouchable. They can warp reality. It's insane.
Cool. But he has this whole thing where he gets captured by his ruler, whatever. It's like, you're committing treason kind of thing, and gets tortured and shit. Holds out interrogation. Those 2 that were up there observing.
They are them.
Okay.
Thank you. I want to say thank you to everyone who commented on the last video, because we were debating on whether or not Astrid and Aewolf survived. And I kind of thought with that one split scene that they died, but someone in the comments, thank you very much again, was like, no, go back and watch like the very first 5 minutes of episode 1 and you'll see that they're still alive. And I was like, oh, went back and watched it, and I was like, sure enough, they're actually the ones who steal the beacon. So yeah, very much alive. So yeah, I love that you guys, without like spoiling it or making us like feel stupid like so many trolls on the internet can do, you were just like, no, like, just go check it. They're there. Go check it out. That was really cool. Appreciate it.
Yeah. So speaking of feeling stupid, they're like, oh, we feel stupid, right? Because the king is like, yeah, all right, let's go.
Yeah. Trent he's playing chess, right? Like 4D chess at this point, I would say. So he's got a strategy, and they were going to come rescue him because they thought he was captured, and he was like, no, like, he knew they were there the whole time, hence why he looked up, right? And they knew that, and they were like, yeah, he knew what he was doing.
And at least he had an audience.
Yeah.
But he does help the king. Essex goes last second to save his friend.
Yes.
And good thing he did, but at the same time, his friend is now kind of like disown him kind of territory.
Well, he's holding the truth. And the whole reason that this whole thing is going down is because of Essex. And whether or not he was doing that so he could unlock the magic of the beacon to save his mom and all that, it's not going to matter at this point, right? Because of all the lives he just lost. He lost his whole unit just then. So yeah, I can understand the frustration and the not wanting to be friends with him anymore.
Good intentions, right?
They do pave the way.
All right. I want to bring this one up real quick. Jester with the romance novel.
Yes.
And Nathan Fillion being just a huge star too as the gentleman. I just want to make note of that because I found that absolutely hilarious.
Quick side note. So I have seen clips, reels all over YouTube and Instagram of their actual play of Jester and this specific book. And it is a long running joke.
Is it?
It just kicked off now on episode 5 or 6, but I saw 8, 10 different clips from this whole campaign of when Jester brings this book back up or references this book or has this book be like a thing she needs to go do or read or give to somebody. It becomes such a running joke that they actually, and correct me if I'm wrong, because this is something I saw someone else say on YouTube, they actually published Tusk Love in the real world.
Okay.
They wrote it and published it because it was such an inside thing and so many people were in on it and they were such a demand for it that they actually turned around and wrote the book so that people could have it.
That's funny.
And are creating a Daggerheart framework all around a romantic setting, which is inspired by Tusk Love from their campaign. So like this is the beginning of like a very long running joke within their community.
I found it funny just because last night before bed I ended up on Book Talk. All the women and the guys being scared of the women that are obsessed with all the crazy.
Yeah. That's the thing too now that I'm like, so I'm obviously a huge fantasy guy. And so when I'm like looking for something new to read in fantasy, I'm like, the top like 8 choices are all just smut, and I'm like, no, I want dragons and fighting. I don't want cult. Yeah,
I don't know.
Did you catch Jester's dicks again?
No.
Yeah. So they're going into when they're dungeon crawling for the gentleman, and they're going in. There's all the skeletons and stuff, and they're kind of waiting for Nott to make it through all the traps. So they're kind of hanging back. You don't see her do it until the troops that are running in behind them run in, and the one troop stops and looks down, and there's a flying dick going into the skeleton's mouth.
No,
you didn't see that?
No.
She drew it in pink on the wall, and then it's just like flying into the skeleton's open mouth.
No, I didn't catch that. So she had some graffiti there.
Jester, like I said, fan favorite for a reason. She's just this rainbow chaos machine, and that's one of her things. Is like just randomly drawing dicks all over the place. So you got to look for them and see where you can catch them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's not like Pokemon.
Gotta collect them all. Yeah, another good entry. I thought a lot of things are popping off. Only 2 more episodes to go. And Yasha's finally in the scene. Next episode, I have a strong feeling, unless we do a flashback, next episode is going to be Yasha gets introduced to the rest of the party.
And hopefully a curse gets broken or the control gets broken, whatever it is.
I don't think that happens yet.
No?
I think that may be a big part of what they do for season 2.
Okay.
That makes a little bit more sense. Because when they were doing the interviews with the cast, that's one of the things that Ashley Johnson herself had said, is that some people it may be different than what some people are used to because we've changed the way things are going to happen, and that you may not see as much of my character until season 2. So it made me think, a lot of her arc and her redemption and her joining the party is going to happen season 2.
Gotcha.
But you saw how badass of a barbarian she is. So she's right now an enemy for the party.
Yeah. She seems pretty evil.
Yeah. Unless somehow the entity that's controlling her sees value in partnering up with a group of people who are also looking for the beacon. And then that's how they end up becoming a party, even though and they don't know that she's evil until it's like the thing activates or whatever. I don't know. I don't know. That's just a theory. But either they're going to fight her or she's going to be able to trick them and join them, even though she's still technically possessed. And then they'll deal with that possession later.
All right.
Yeah. So you didn't like episode, but you did enjoy this last episode, but you did enjoy this one?
I did like this one.
Yeah.
This one was more fun.
Back on track because it's not a flashback?
Yeah.
Got it. Awesome. Let us know what you thought in the comments below. Did you enjoy this episode? How are you enjoying the characters? Are you excited that Yasha's finally on camera again? And what do you think is going to happen next with the beacon now that Trent has used it for war? A lot of crazy things happening, but want to hear your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed already, go ahead and do so. We are so close, about 1,000, a little over 1,000 away from 50,000 subscribers. Guys, it's been an amazing journey. It's all because of you tuning in, liking these videos, commenting below. And if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe. But as always, tons of videos here for you to watch. Playlists, other cool stuff. We'll see you there. Peace.
Find the strength hiding in each battle scar. You're not who you were. You've already come far.